The Thanksgiving Book Feast.
Part 3, The Return of the Turking.
Awesome. All right, let's do this. So, Gorilla, I need the next book. All right, it's over there. Take it. All right, he didn't throw anything that time. That's good. All right, this is called This is the Feast, and it is by, let's see, Diane Z. Shore and illustrated by Lloyd. Awesome. All right, let's do this. All right. This is the Mayflower, sturdy and strong. Her sails skim the skies as she journeys along. These are the pilgrims down on their knees, seasick and frightened on rough rolling seas. These are the storms and the battering gales, crashing the decks and thrashing the sails. Next page. Land ho, America, world unknown, a wilderness wild, a place to call home, that greeted the pilgrims, fearful but brave, who sailed off to freedom through wind and through wave, across the Atlantic so far and so wide. Thanks be to God, our strength and our guide.
So, America was known by and was home to indigenous people for 20 to 40,000 years before the pilgrims. So no, America was not a world unknown.
These are the oak trees bundled in snow, felled for the houses as bitter winds blow.
The winter of 1620 to 1621 was intense. Because of this, disease and living conditions at the time, they were only able to build 11 buildings out of the planned 19. 45 of the 102 pilgrims died that winter. It took until the end of January to have enough built so they could unload the Mayflower.
This is the hearth, soothing the soul, as death and disease take a terrible toll. This is the corn, a treasure of maize, black, yellow, red, and blue nuggets ablaze. These are the fields, stubbled, unclaimed, cleared by Patuxet before the plague came, and found by the pilgrims exploring a shore far from the baskets of nuggets galore that colored the gray, wearying days of despair. Thanks be to God for the lives he has spared.
Many tribes on the eastern New England coast died from several plagues that lasted from 1614 to 1620, the year the Pilgrims came to America. The land the Pilgrims found with corn was actually a burial site for the Patuxet. Only one lived from this tribe, Tisquantum, who went on to help the Pilgrims acclimate to their new surroundings.
These are the birch trees budding in spring, nestlings of robins and promise they bring. These are the Indians, fearful, aware. Welcome, their greeting, approaching with care.
Scholars are divided on why indigenous peoples are sometimes called Indians. They believe it could be either that Christopher Columbus, upon arriving in the Americas, named them Indians because he believed he sailed to India, or because Indios is Spanish for in God, because of their reported kindness. But the people the Pilgrims met were the Wampanoag, and they should be addressed by their tribe's name.
This is the corn seed planted in mounds with herring to nourish the seed in the ground. This is Tisquantum, or Squanto his name, a keen-eyed Patuxet the plague didn't claim, who helped sow the corn, the colorful maize, and shared with the pilgrims his knowledge and ways of fishing and trapping and hunting the land. Thanks be to God for this wise, clever man! These are the elm trees brushing the skies as summer days dawn and pilgrims arise. This is the shallop skimming the tide, flashing with cod to be salted and dried. These are the corn shoots, fountains of maize, weeded and tilled through hot sunny days. These are the gardens, leafy and green, crowded with cucumber, spinach, and bean, that sprouted near cornfields threaded with vines, of blossoming pumpkins and squash of all kinds, that flowered the cape that was nurtured by hand. Thanks be to God for this bountiful land! These are the maples and forests ablaze, where wild turkeys run and golden deer graze. These are the plums and cranberries tart, picked and preserved with gladdening heart. These are the cornstalks, soldiers of maize, gathered in sheaves during harvesting days. These are the baskets of plentiful crops, spilling with tassels and vegetable tops, and brimming with berries and chestnuts and plums that ripened in forests where golden deer run. A harvest of plenty, all gathered with pride. Thanks be to God who doth us provide! Next page. This is the feast the pilgrims prepared and welcomed the neighboring Indians who shared in the singing and dancing, a joyous 3 days of heartily feasting on mountains of maize, and puddings and codfish and lobsters and meat of the deer and wild fowl, all roasted and sweet, and spread on a table of long wooden planks, then blessed with a prayer of heartwarming thanks for the friendships and harvest and bountiful land that was seeded and weeded and reaped by the hands of our hard-working forefathers, daring and brave, seeking freedom of worship through wind and through wave, as they sailed on the Mayflower, plodding but strong, her sails filled with dreams as she journeyed along. And last page. This is Thanksgiving, a time to remember the friendships and freedoms we all share together. Alright, that was yet another book. We have one more that Mr. Troy Toon is going to help us out with, okay? So I'm going to put this back because I don't trust the gorilla to put it back right now.